His name is J.R. He listens on KKLA from the Los Angeles area. Hello, J.R.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's going on in your life today?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to better communicate with my wife.
Let me stop
not
you.
communicating
Let me stop you for a second. Has
Uh-huh.
any big, major, huge problem happened in your relationship with your wife?
Yes, my wife is. She told me about a few months ago that she's moving in a different direction.
Moving in a different direction.
Yeah, I try to get her to define what that direction is.
Okay, wait a second.
But-
Let's go back. Now, why would your wife all of a sudden one day say to such a wonderful man as you, I'm moving in a different direction? What happened that got her headed that way?
Well, we've been married almost 18 years, and I have to admit that the 18 years haven't been the most blissful years.
Why is that? Why weren't they blissful?
Well, I have some issues with my anger.
Mm-hmm.
I was abusive.
Did you hit her?
No, not with a closed or open fist, but
What did you hit?
in
What
other
did you
ways.
hit her with?
Well, I didn't hit her with anything.
Oh.
What I've done, sometimes I may restrain her, or I may.
You got physical.
times when-
You got physical.
There's been some physical contact, although if you ask me, I didn't initiate all the physical contact. So if I'm holding something, for example, and she reaches forward and I snatch it away and she gets injured, she may call that abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't, I've learned a long time ago to kind of, I can't get her to to not believe that.
Right.
And but I've also been verbally abusive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that stems from my anger, and so a lot of those things I've been working on, and but there's also about almost 3 years ago, I did admit to an extramarital affair,
Okay.
and I saw. I actually read your book, Every Man's Battle, to help me with that, and it was very brief, and it was just stupidity on my part. I think I was going through a period of time when I was a little selfish,
Okay.
and it felt like I deserved some things.
All right. Now we don't have a lot of time, so let's get to your question then.
Well, what I saw a counselor during that time, but she refused to go, and I thought over maybe close to the last 3 years, we were getting better in communicating with each other. And then I took a long trip, a business trip. And on that business trip, I asked her, how was our state about marriage, 2+ years later. And that's when she kind of dropped that on me. So I think she was kind of going through a period where she was kind of moving away
Okay.
emotionally.
We get that. Sure.
During that 2 years.
Yeah. What's the question for us then?
Well, I obviously want to save and keep our marriage, and so I'm the one that's emotional. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
I'm
you need to do more than just read a book then.
Well, I understand that, and I've been working on that. I actually went back into counseling to
Good.
deal with my anger, and really it's a marriage counseling, but I'm doing it by myself.
Okay. Well, let's see what Mylon and Jill have to say here in the limited time that we have.
Well, it sounds like your wife's now angry. She's reached a limit. She's done, and she's just basically saying, "I'm done."
And I get that feeling, but we're still in the same house. We sleep in the same bed. We
Well,
don't have any.
She's begun to separate from you, and that's actually some good news, and I'll tell you why. It's good news because when a person is with a controlling person and they are abused for 18 years, they develop high levels of resentment. They drift away emotionally. They don't love that person anymore. And for them to rise up and have a sense of power and to be able to say to you, "I'm done, I'm moving on," is a good statement because it's essentially pulling her up to a level where she's equal with you, and it gives her a sense of power and entitlement to be able to make such a declaration like that. If I were you, I would, instead of you sharing your feelings, I would ask her, wow, you're probably an angry lady at the end of 18 years. Tell me how angry you are. Tell me how much you want to leave. Tell me some of the things I've done most to hurt you. And let's start there on a bedrock of honesty. And if you do that, instead of saying, I'm scared, I want you to stay here, I want you to come back, that's a different approach than you entering into her world.
Well, right, because all of this, JR, is being triggered by that fear of loss, her abandoning you. And so now suddenly you're in tune and you're wanting to share your feelings when she has been carrying probably the emotional load for 18 years. And so that's where, instead of being self-focused, like maybe she's experienced you all along, you have to do something different. And that is, I'm working on myself, but I want to understand, I want to hear now what I have missed.
Okay, so the original question was, has something really big happened in your marriage? Well, yes, it has. There was an affair, and she started...
And years of anger and abuse.
Yeah, she started the final drift, and I can't see any way to save the marriage other than a complete overhaul by him, where he's saying, look, I'm going to join that men's group, get in that counseling, I'm going to get in the anger management class, all sorts of things he can do other than just say, I'm going to go to counseling once a week.
Do you know
regardless of her response to that.
Right. You know how to make anger go away?
No.
Have an affair. You see, it's a very exhilarating experience.
Because then you see yourself as ideal.
Well, and you're happy, and you're having fun, and you're
on
et cetera,
drugs.
et cetera.
What
You're on
are.
drugs.
Yeah.
It's this huge distraction from the things that are driving the anger way deep down inside.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a temporary escape
Well, and if
from
you're
anger.
raging at your spouse and things are getting physical, there is a problem. There is no, well, I was just a little bit angry, or I really didn't abuse her. There is a problem.
I never hit her. I just restrained her. Oh, you can just see that picture. It's a sad, sad picture. Well, we're just about out of time, and I hope and pray that if anything we've said, you're going, oh, that sounds like our relationship, or that sounds like me, that you would call us and give us an opportunity to help you. We might refer you to a counselor. We might send you